Hey, it's Chris. I told you so. I told you so. This is me throwing money at the camera. What's the biggest news of the week? By far and away, if you didn't think I was going to open this video with this, well, you don't know me on this channel very well. DC motherfucking United. Your boy called it. Your boy said it was coming. I said it. You heard it here. Let's talk about it, right? It's over on Gamefound. CMON's going to launch it soon. I would guarantee that they launch it before the end of the month. CMON holds their cards close to the vest, which is a little crazy at the same time. I'm going to imagine that it's going to launch in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to say 2 weeks. Maybe 3 by the end of the month. But this month. And with this going on, right? How much money are you going to start shelling out? How much money are you going to go? And the video that I did like last year with Alex from Board Game Co., right? We both reminisced on United things and that we're both kind of in for a penny, in for a pound. Like, that's our vibe. And I stand by that. No regrets. Well, few regrets, but I sold them all. And I'm probably going to look at it. But the big question in my head right now is, just like with original Avengers, X-Men to Multiverse, what is going to be the appeal? Is it going to be purely aesthetic and slight tweaks of mechanics, right? And they've done a tremendous, fantastic job of keeping it fresh with the minimal amount of actual mechanics that are present in the first place. That is by far and away that game's crowning achievement above all else. And freaking looks cool seeing Batman and Joker on there, right? I don't really care about the follow little add-on. You get a little Two-Face coin. Yeah, it's going to be a gameplay mechanic. You know that. It even alludes to it. But that's the question, right? What are you going to see with this? How deep into the pocketbooks are they going to go? I think that's the right phrase there, right? You know, how deep are they going to make you spend? But also, how deep are they going to dig into the lore? Because that was probably the other most impressive thing about Marvel United as a whole. X-Men and Multiverse, right? They didn't just skim the surface, even in the first one, and just say, we're just going to take the most popular characters, we're going to make it a Dice Throne-esque where this is going to be the most marketable at retail. I mean, they did. Don't get me wrong, they did that too. But they also said in the stretch goal box, whoa, look at all these other characters, some of which you've heard of, some of which, unless you're like a diehard comics person, you probably haven't. And it's nice. That's nice. And the other thing you don't have to worry about now is this is a tried and true system, right? Shouldn't be able to completely screw this one up at all. Because you've got 3 other iterations that you have a foundation to build off of. Right? Is it going to do gangbusters like Marvel? No, it's probably not going to come anywhere near Marvel because it's DC. I don't think DC overwhelmingly as thought of in that same sense and money-wise. But to kid ourselves and think that it's not going to raise still significant amount more than anywhere near the majority of other crowdfunding campaigns would be lunacy otherwise, right? The other aspect that I alluded to a minute ago was, assuming this launches sometime very soon, and I feel like I'm talking about this too much and beating a dead horse, but it raises another interesting issue along the same lines. Dead Keep is pre-ordering right now. Are you going to see an overlap of Dead Keep and DC United in terms of what they're doing? You've got Cthulhu Dark Providence over on like the CMON's pre-order website for them. You've got Gamefound now pre-ordering for them. Because again, that's the whole conundrum of what deal was made that they're just allowing them to use them as a storefront for pre-orders. And then now you're going to have a crowdfunding campaign almost simultaneously. And someone said in the comment section that this is going to be the 9th project yet to be delivered by CMON that is currently going. Does that mean anything to you? Do you care? Most people don't. I don't much. Because, you know, what do I have? I have two from them coming. Cthulhu and Multiverse. I think those are the only 2 I have. But that's a lot of House of Cards, folks. You know? What if something happens? You know, I did that video last year of how screwed would you be if one of these companies like CMON all of a sudden had the big snags that Mythic did. And again, people are like, you're an idiot, and, you know, you did the math wrong, and It's interesting concept and interesting thought, though. It's a little scary at the same time. How many hundreds or thousands of dollars do you have tied up in one company? And do you care if they've got all these irons in the fire, right? Do you care? Like, they've got all these different pokers, and can you manage them all? Can you sort them all out? Do you have enough overhead? Are some of them going to start to really lag behind? Is it going to be a Peterson game situation where all of a sudden, you know, the resources, the manpower, something trips up and you're going to get them, but maybe it's one a year for the next 9 years, right? Like, how would you feel about that? That Kickstarter free loan that you gave them previously is not looking so good anymore from that side of things. So those are the questions that this raises at this point. Very interesting questions as a whole. One other announcement that just got released via email this week. Are you a KDM person? Are you a Kingdom Death Monster person at all? Finally, I don't know, like what, 5-6 years later? 5-6 years late, whatever it is. The Black Knight expansion is coming out for KDM. Tier 3 monster, ultimate bad guy, whole new scenario, whole new landscape, whole new element of things. Got the email the other day. Huge expansion. Like Apex enemy style of things. And it's $120. And I was looking back at the website the other day, and it just makes me look back at the crowdfunding campaign that they ran and really realize how good of a deal it was with some of that stuff, right? The core plus like the gambler's chest was something along the lines of like $240 at one of those pledge levels. Each of them individually now retails for $400+, like $410, $420 for the core, whatever it is, the 1.6 version, and the $400 for the gambler's chest, which is insane difference for pricing, right? Like, we see the MSRP for Horror on the Orient Express from this past week, right? Like, they're like, well, the MSRP is 170 and you're getting it for 95 or whatever, right? Which is, you know, still $90, $95, whatever it may be, something around there, spitballing off the top of my head, close enough. But that's 100% increase. 240 to 810, 820. That's, you know, 350% increase. That's insane. And part of that is, well, scope creep, because you have a designer that wants to just keep adding more stuff. And frankly speaking, probably came way too early to the drawing board with the product in the first place. Combination of those two things. You know, I said what I said. You know, KDM fans are rabid and they don't seem to realize that, you know, you can be criticized too and still, you know, enjoy something. Anyway, but that's what you've got going on there. And to be frank, I really kind of want to sell my copy of KDM. I prefer Aeon Trespass Odyssey. Not saying anything bad about KDM. It's just, you know, vanilla or chocolate? Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? Which one's yours? And then, Tiny Epic Game of Thrones, which, you know what, we'll just smash this in here at the beginning. They just announced their crowdfunding campaign's going to be next week. And there's going to be 4 different modes to go along with it. 4 different modes for a Tiny Epic game, right? And yeah, it's going Game of Thrones. It's, you know, calling it Game of Thrones, and they're going Game of Thrones, if you know what I mean. They're not just, you know, utilizing the IP, they're going full bore with it. It looks like Game of Thrones on the screenshots that they threw out in the email. Competitive multiplayer, competitive solo, cooperative multiplayer, cooperative solo. Cooperative solo, right? Cooperative solo. Think about that one for a second. I'll let you digest that one in the comment section. But, I mean, they got some different artwork. Doesn't look to be screen grabs. Looks to be unique for this game, at least from what I know. I'm not familiar with all the other situations, but, and yeah, with the solo, right? Compete against artificial players or, you know, go up with them against the Night King. And it comes with an Ice and Fire expansion with the cooperative side of things. The cooperative is going to be your expansion content there. So based on the email as well, we have miniatures to go along with it. So I'm imagining that you can pay a much more substantial, non-tiny fee to get all of this stuff. I'm going to argue that with the stuff they show in the picture, you're going to be talking over $100 for this. Tiny game, epic price. Is that where that comes from? Just kidding, sort of. Not really. Crowdfunding inflation. So that is coming this upcoming week, as well as, well, we'll just go right into it right now. We'll get back to the news in a minute. Bitewings as well. I put out that video this week of 2 of the 3 Bitewing games, and I heartily recommend both of them. Cat Blues, the trick-taking sort of scout-esque game where you're outbidding to basically get a little bit of gin rummy, go fish, play them on the board, and score points with just a slight twist, the scout version, if you will. And then Bebop, which is a line of a similar vibe as the Knizia tile laying games. Very similar in a way, only with dice and seat placement, reserving your seats, to, experience a concert around stages on the board as hex laying goes on, and scoring with groups, families of colors of dice as you do it. Babylonia-esque. So, again, different enough, but a little bit spin-off enough, too, that fits in nicely. But would it be good for you? Because, again, I love those games. So, that's my type of game overall. So, that's also launching this week as well. Then the last big one, potentially over in Gamefound, is going to be Solace. I talked about this in the news roundup like 2 weeks ago, I think, in the sense that Solace, from the makers of Sheol, they are having their game launch, and there was already some criticism because they were using some AI art for place filler. And it's sort of a futuristic SWAT, sort of Earth Under Siege Flashpoint sort of style, only different. And so the question was, well, how different? And what's the price point going to be? Because heavy miniature based like Sheol, where it was basically about $200 to get that game, and it barely funded. They got it put out, and we'll kind of see what they can do this next one. They had another one in between. It was like the Castles of Candelabra. I'm completely messing that one up, but doing something completely different with a very, very aesthetically based miniature presence. So what is this one going to entail? Again, hopefully more like a Cthulhu Death May Die rather than an Earth Flashpoint Under Siege, just because of the difference in depth of rulebook and overhead from a personal perspective. Not that either one of those is necessarily better for you. So take that for what you will. But those are the three big ones launching on crowdfunding this week. So news-wise, what else is going on? We have an official release date for the second set of Star Wars Shadows of the Galaxy, and that is going to be July 12th. And the only question is going to be, when can you start pre-ordering it? I think I'm in, folks. I think I'm in. So you heard me talk about it yesterday a little bit. I'm doing the 100 games in April. I am going to hit it hard, and we're going to see where it goes, because I'm actually really enjoying myself. I actually really like the mechanics. Yeah, you know what? IGN, they gave it a 7, and people in the community were like, oh, they're getting after it. And you know what, folks, first set, you know what? It's not going to be a 10 out of 10. But the best part is, it's only going to get better. The meta is only going to evolve. There's already some spoilers of Season 2. I'll have a video out this coming week talking about the stuff that's already been leaked about the 2-player starter kit that we've got going on as well with Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian. So what else do you want to see? Are you going to see Extended Universe? That's the one thing for me. I want to see Extended Universe, right? Like, give me the Thrawn series. You've already got Thrawn Incorporated. Give me the Extended Thrawn series, like Luuk, right? And Mara Jade and all of those sorts of things. I want to see those. Throw those in there. And, Dark Empire comic book series. Oh my gosh, right? Like, when Luke turns to the dark side. And anyway, so getting distracted here. A new game from Saashi and Saashi called Bus and Stop. Pick up and deliver from Saashi and Saashi now. Be the best bus driver as you pick up and deliver these passengers across the way. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. It's not in the line of let's make a bus route, but it's actually a card game, avoiding overcrowding at the same time. You're getting passenger cards of one color in a row waiting at the bus stop. Place them into your hub, essentially, and that can only hold 10 cards. And then senior citizens, well, they score them immediately, but every other group of passengers, all certain types of, men or girls is the example, or one passenger of each color have to be placed depending on how many you can do and how large the group is as a whole. So I'm a big fan of Saashi and Saashi. I really like the stuff they put out, and their website actually allows you to ship to North America now. So to be completely transparent, this one's now on my Board Game Geek wish list. So take that for what you will. And then, you know what? Did you see the new Star Trek CCG as well from Fantasy Flight Games? Just kidding. It was actually an April Fool's joke. Did you pay attention to any of those April Fool's things? I don't even pay attention anymore, right? Like, I don't even look at it. It just doesn't even cross my radar, even on media side of things on the internet. So, yeah, that's about it right now. That's the news right now. That's what's going on. That's what we've got. Around the past week. What's on the hotness then? What's we got going on the hotness? Well, Rebirth. I actually talked about it last week before it hit the hotness. I'm solely responsible for it hitting that. No, I don't know. Coincidence more than anything else, right? Like, I'm sure somebody else blew it up before me, and somebody else bigger was talking about it as well. So, Rebirth. It's tile laying Knizia, just like I was talking about, right? Mighty Boards. It's going to be launching at the end of May. So if you have any interest in that one, that's going on. Horror on the Orient Express. I talked about it yesterday in the roundup. And you know what? My wallet is safe from it. There's a lot of stuff going on. And it's just too much upkeep for me as a non-Euro game. You know, I expect that with some of my Euro heavy worker placements. I don't expect that with all of my crawls. And so again, like, I'm going to be a total hypocrite with this one, right? Like, choose your own hypocritical game situation that you're okay with and not okay with, right? And this one, I read through the rulebook and I was like, nope, this one's not for me. Awesome. Great. You know what? You love it? Awesome. Go for it. Quest for El Dorado. Shut Up and Sit Down did their 100 best games of 100 best all time that they are putting out. So people are clicking on that, and that game is getting the recognition it deserves because it's been a freaking good game for me, even though I really haven't talked about it much on the channel. I think I talked about it once or twice last year when I picked up the new copy from Ravensburger that they redid, that they still haven't put the expansions out for, that I'm hoping are coming out soon. Come on now. Let's do that. You're printing money with that stuff. Then one that just came on after I did this video last week, SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence from Czech Games, one of their big upcoming ones. Eurogame, 1 to 4 players, scientific institution driven, searching for traces of life beyond the planet Earth. Heavy multi-use cards here, 200 of them or more in your efforts to report these new findings. Each card unique effects and real life depictions of things, you know, actually that you may recognize, like the ISS or the Large Hadron Collider, as well as the Voyager probe. So upgrade your equipment, invest, and see who can, well, find it first. I don't know. Kind of a cool theme. The Galileo project, though, got me. That one enamored me at the beginning of last year as a space-themed one, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. And this one, it says 40 minutes per player, so the time range is 40 to 160 minutes. Woo, 160 minutes for a game like this, I'd worry. Doesn't have a weight yet either on Board Game Geek, so take that for what you will. Spectre, the board game from Modipus, all of a sudden is making the hotness last week and this week too. It's because it went on sale for $6 over on Modipus's website, and I guess people were clicking on it and seeing whether or not it was worth it. I didn't think it was that great of an area control game. I just wasn't a huge fan. I got a review copy sent to me like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I talked about it and reviewed it in like a multi-game review video, and just wasn't for me. I love Bond though, and I kind of wish Bond had some other game besides the deck building one, which I've heard mixed opinions about. Then we have Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs. Again, the Gloomhaven solo-esque pocket button-shy version that is being in the process of delivered. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle being raised because apparently some of the retail shops in some parts of the country have it before a lot of the backers, which is just another, I don't know. I don't want to say it's related to Backer Kit, but the last big Backer Kit campaign over there kind of had some similar issues. I'm looking at you. Spirit Island Nature Freaking Incarnate. By the way, I'll have an unboxing with a few other games of that in the near future as well. Like, I kind of like doing those, and no one watches them anyway, but it's fun to do and fun to talk about and fun to ramble. So if you want to see me ramble and rant on random topics related to random games, all rolled into one, some new and some slightly new-ish, yeah, those are going to be fun videos. Man, they're just fun to do. So that one's out there. I don't really know. I mean, I guess if you got a better price, does it really matter? Does it really matter if you got it earlier, like, or later, right? Oh no, Keeping Up with the Joneses, the guy down the street who doesn't have a channel and doesn't do content creation just like me, who doesn't do content creation, doesn't get it as early. I don't know. Does it really matter? It doesn't, folks. You know, the only thing that really matters sometimes is on my side of things when, you know, you get more clicks if you're one of the first people to have it out, right? I think that's why no one watched my Primal unboxing, is because, like, I'm like the 17th person to have it out as opposed to one of the first two. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I still had fun doing that one as well, so no regrets whatsoever either way. Mythwind is funding, and then Ark Nova's on there, and Sultan C, the latest from Devere as well on the hotness. And then also, last but not least, Wyrmspan, because I think Wyrmspan is going to be retail soon. So let's pull up Board Game Oracle while I'm sitting here, right? And let's see if I can actually figure it out when or what the price is going to be from that aspect. Actually, you know what? It's in stock everywhere. I take that back. So it's in stock everywhere right now. I thought, you know, in the middle of this video, as I was Googling it, Barnes & Noble had an exclusive, but Barnes & Noble has it for $65. But it looks like most of everywhere else has it actually for release in edition right now, even though when I Googled it in the first place, it said May 3. So Barnes & Noble, $65, but other online retailers, low 50s. So I almost traded for it. I don't know. I haven't really gotten my copy of Wingspan played since I got that in a math trade a whole lot. And so, do I like the aesthetic better? Yeah. Am I going to like the gameplay better? I don't know. I have Wingspan with 2 expansions because I got it in a math trade that I've never really enjoyed doing, even though I've done them several times. So, that's kind of my situation as well. Although I've been really looking at Heat Pedal to the Metal, which is also sitting on the hotness since we're finishing up here, because Heavy Rain has been released over in Europe, and the real temptation to pre-order or import it has been super high, along with Evendale, as you heard me talk about later. So, which reminds me, I need to pick up and start getting my list together for the best games coming to retail for April that you shouldn't buy. Guess we're talking about Wyrmspan this month. Right? Let's do it. Okay, let me know. Let me know. I have to piecemeal those together myself every time. So if you can do any of the Googling for me, hit me up in the comment section down below from that aspect of things. Apart from that, again, just playing some stuff. Too many reviews to do in too short a time. Couple crowdfunding games upcoming, couple crowdfunding games ending that I got to do content on, and then a couple retail games that have made my way, as well as a bunch of the retail ones that I talked about in that bigger video from the other week. So, like 3 weeks ago. 'Tis the life, man. So, April. Frickin' April. I don't know. Too many games. I'm selling some stuff too. I feel good about that though. I feel really good about it actually. I sold a couple things. Gonna sell a couple more things. A couple big box things, a couple small box things. So, there you go. That's all I got. News, upcoming, round, everything, all in one. And some Star Wars Unlimited coming this week too. So stay classy. Have a great freaking day. Let me know what you want to see. Peace out. Thanks for watching in the first place though. I really do appreciate it. It's, over the top as I am sometimes. Much appreciated. Every single time.